This podcast replay is brought to you by Choice Mortgage Bank. Fixed mortgage rates under 3.5%. Military veterans, 0 down, 100% financing. Call the owner's cell phone right now. Michael Codsey, 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730.
You can follow my man George Richards on Twitter at George Richards. You can catch his exceptional work at The Athletic, and he's always kind enough to join us here on the program to talk a little Okie as the Panthers get ready to take on the Lightning.
We have Mr. Richards for you, sir.
All right, George, so word is that you're kicking Bob out now that you checked your eyes with the doctor and you are 1919, not 2020. You're ready to get between the pipes and stop every shot tonight against the Lightning, correct?
Well, I'll give up a couple. I'm not gonna shut out Tampa Bay, bro.
Come on, bro. After you were
Look at that power play.
Last night you were sitting there with Bob telling him he sucks, that he can't get it done, that you're better than him. Now you're going to allow a couple goals. What kind of crap is that, bro? How come you're backing away now?
Listen, our conversations that we have it, privately or private, and I'm not going to get into that, Orlando. I'm not going to get into what me and Bob talk about in the privacy of our own home. Sorry.
Well, publicly, Bob has stopped about 60 shots in the last two games. He's actually playing well here in these last two games. Beatable teams and all that good stuff.
Sure.
But still, he had to come in, and he was pretty sharp in the last two games, all kidding aside.
Yeah, maybe that reset helped out a little bit, being able to take a couple days off and just get back to work, maybe refocused. I don't know what it was, maybe a kick in the pants kind of thing. He understood. I think, being benched in that first one against Nashville was maybe a little bit of an eye-opener because that was basically Quenneville saying, you know what, we should have gotten 2 points out of Washington and we didn't. And a couple saves here or there, Bob, and we would have gotten the 2 points. How about you set this one out? And then Dreyer, shuts out the Predators, and Bob knew right then and there, I ain't playing on Tuesday. This kid just had a shutout. I'm sitting out again. But that gave him, some time off to really refocus and maybe like a little training camp for him. And he goes through that, and, he looked good this weekend, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's played better the last two games. Have you, in talking to him, because he just seems like a focused dude, but has he given you any insight whatsoever, or has he just been kind of quiet and keeping to himself?
He's been, he's not. He accepts all the blood. He knows those stats aren't that great. He knows they aren't, but he also knows that. There are some circumstances surrounding him. You can't be, the goalie there. I know you guys want him to stand on his head every single night, and that just doesn't happen over the course of 70 games, which is what he's on pace to play. It's early in the year. The team's in second place, and he's been a big part of that. The statistics are going to start going up. We thought that they'd start going up earlier than they have. But we're gonna see Bob, get this thing going. This is a big homestand for him and them, and a big test tonight with Tampa Bay, coming off a loss last night to the Islanders. So if he can get a win tonight over Tampa Bay, I think they'd be pretty happy with the last couple games.
Now, you said we want him to be Beezer every night or stand on his head. But I need him to be more like Beezer is what I need. I need him. There are moments where he has allowed some, cheesy, greasy, cheap goals.
And so did Beezer in November and October. You're looking at Beezer against the Philadelphia Flyers in the Eastern semifinals. This is still, October, November, December. It's still early in the year. He's still playing on a brand new team with brand new players playing a completely different style than the Columbus Blue Jackets play. So, I'm obviously giving him more rope than you guys are, but, I think that he is going to turn it around once things start to really settle in. And look at the way they've been playing defensively. Look at the way they played in front of Dreyer. Look at the way they played in front of him the last two nights, and that's what the Panthers need to be. He can't do it all his own. I know he's the highest paid guy on the team, but he can't do it all by himself. And I think we've seen that in the previous 2 months.
Well, but that's why I guess also there is a high demand for him to perform at a higher level because he's getting paid a boatload of money, and that's where
No doubt about that.
that's where I need to see more special night in and night out. I'm not asking you to be, on your head every single night. But I just wanted you to show up a little bit more than you have already. And look, I get the October stuff. Everybody talked about it, wrote about it, but it kept on in November, and now we're into December. Yeah. And that's where I have to say, okay, the line in the sand has to be drawn. And, dude, you need to, take it up another notch. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking.
Oh, for sure. And here's the thing. Just like, remember when Sasha Barkov couldn't score to save his life, went 12 games without a goal? What happened when he got one? They all started going in. Now he scores, it seems like, every night. Same thing with a goalie. When you give up a greasy one or you give up a bad one on Tuesday night, then you give up another one on Thursday night, it starts getting in your head, and you start giving up those goals. And somehow it's got to stop, and maybe this little reset put an end to it. You know what I mean? So maybe it did get into his head a little bit, because I could pick out, the games where you're like, Bob, they could have won that game had it not been, Bob kind of gave up a couple there that killed them. And a lot of them were recently. I don't think a lot of those games were in October or even early November. I think a lot of those, though, were in the latter parts around the Thanksgiving during that, 3-game losing streak where they didn't get to overtime. I think maybe this reset's going to help him out a little bit.
And George Richards, of course, from The Athletic, joining us here on the program. Are they going to stay with Drieger here as the backup? Montembeault, is that the plan, that he'll stay down in the minors for the rest of the year, maybe towards the end of the year, bring him up? What's the deal?
They don't have a plan right now, I don't think, as far as looking that far ahead. I think they're just going I think they're just feeling this thing out. You know what I mean? Drieger came up. I thought that maybe he would be, just here to be the backup to Bob and maybe play in that back-to-back, maybe play against San Jose. And it turns out he gets 2 starts out of nowhere, basically. And they liked what they've seen. You know what I mean? And Montembeault is not setting the world on fire down in the AHL. So they're keeping an eye on things, what's going on here with Chris, what's going on down there with Monty. As far as who will be here in a month, I have no idea which goalie's going to be here, because it's going to depend a lot on performance, and it's going to be, it's going to deal a lot with, development, because they do want Montembeault to play. They don't want him sitting on the bench for 10 days. But he also needs to go down there to Springfield and perform at the AHL level.
How are they health-wise going into this game tonight?
Everybody's pretty good. I mean, they've got Jace Hauerluck is still out with that shoulder injury, but he's been skating, now for about the last week to 10 days. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets sent down to Springfield for a couple games just to get into some game speed, get going on that. Or they throw him in there. I don't know. Jace was really playing well when he suffered that shoulder injury. So I think they'd like to see him maybe get back up to game speed before they get him back in there. But they'd really like to see him in there. I know Quenneville really likes Jace, and we'll see what happens there. But other than that, everybody's good.
Nikita and the boys tonight. Explain to the folks what to expect from the Lightning.
Well, I mean, the Lightning are definitely not off to the start they expected. I mean, this is a team that ran away with the President's Trophy last year as the best team in the National Hockey League, ran away with the Atlantic Division, basically, had a playoff spot by the All-Star break. I mean, Tampa Bay last year was, just playing with their hair on fire. And this year, not as well. They beat Florida in the opener. And really have struggled for a lot, to really get things going. I don't know if it's they've changed up their style of play a little bit, trying to be a little more defensive, because they know that that wide open style that they didn't really translate in the playoffs. They got swept out of the first round by Columbus, and some changes were made. But right now they're on the outside of the playoffs looking in. Last night they lost to the Islanders at home, and now they're coming here to Florida for a back-to-back. And They really need to get their stuff in gear. But in talking to Joel Quenneville today, he's like, don't look at the standings when it comes to Tampa Bay, because they're a contender every single night. They're still the team that we that they were last year, and they can open her up on you at any time. So if the Panthers would like to kick this team when they're down. But Tampa Bay is a team with a lot of pride, and we'll see what happens tonight.
Now, let me ask you something. You say, the Lightning need this, right? Cats need it too, dude, because a win tonight, you're 4-2 so far on this homestand in 6 games. That doesn't look too bad. You lose tonight, you're 3-3. You're 500 so far in this enormous homestand that you're supposed to take advantage, and 3-3 is not taking advantage.
Yeah, but again, listen, with Tampa Bay,
I know.
I am so. This is a big game, and it's a big game for both. And listen, I don't think teams are scared of Tampa Bay anymore. I think that that Superman S that they were wearing isn't there right now, and I think that the Panthers are definitely not scared of them. They've seen them God knows how many times, and back in training camp and preseason,
and Bob shut him down.
2 games a year.
And Bob shut him down in the playoffs.
Yeah, Florida's not scared of Tampa Bay, and I think that they never have been. But Tampa Bay's been the better team over the last couple of years. I don't know if you can say that this year. I mean, Tampa Bay is chasing the Panthers, but again, is that for real, or or things just messed up right now? Or is this bizarro world? I don't know. So we'll find out. We'll find out what happens tonight. Panthers are playing very well, playing with a lot of confidence, and we'll see what happens.
Dude, did you expect Brett Connolly to be this good? Guy's got 14 goals, bro. 14 goals already. That's nuts.
And timely goals too, right?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
The guy doesn't score when the Panthers are up 4-0 or down 4-0. This guy's scoring big time goals. He's getting in the tough part, just like Quenneville and every other coach in hockey preaches. You get down low, jostle guys a little bit, maybe get your stick on a puck, maybe a rebound. The guy does all the little things right, and also is a very talented player. He scores on breakaways. He scores on greasy goals. I mean, he does it all, and he's always seems like whenever the Panthers need a goal, it's Brett Connolly delivering. So, yeah, I think so far A++ on that signing, eh?
Dude, he's on pace for like 40 goals, right?
He's on pace for the Hall of Fame, man. Come on. Brett Connolly.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
He is. Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, he's been getting the opportunity that maybe, he was overlooked a little bit in Washington. He was well loved in Washington. He was one of those role guys. And I think he's worked his way into a role here because, everybody down here, when you look at the Florida Panthers, you're talking about offensively, you're talking about Barkov and Huberdeau and Trocheck and Hoffman and da-da-da. The guy who happens to be leading the team in goals, Brett Connolly. He's used to that. I mean, he played for the Washington Capitals. He don't care. He's digging this, man. He's digging. All right, just leave me alone. Keep me on the second line, and we'll do what we do.
It'll be fun tonight. We'll be watching, see if the Cats can take down the Lightning, and we'll be, of course, watching George Richards' coverage at The Athletic. Follow him on Twitter at George Richards. George, as always, my brother, kick some ass in the goal tonight and get that W.
All right, I'm working on it. I got to go stretch.
There you go. George Richards, man. You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. George Richards, man. Good stuff as always. He's just a great dude overall.